If you're sitting on the fence and thinking, should I buy a home right now in Atlanta? This video is going to give you some real numbers. I'm Lucretia Ramsey. I've been serving Metro Atlanta for over 40 years, helping buyers and sellers buy homes in Atlanta. So as we dive on to, should you buy a home? Is it a good time to buy a home in Atlanta in 2026? Stay tuned as we share more information on this. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down for you what's going on with the current housing market, what's going on with mortgage rate. Is this a buyer's market or a seller's market? We're going to talk about who buy now or wait, which makes sense. Who should buy now, or maybe who shouldn't buy. So stay tuned as we dive into this information. Let's start with where prices are. Some systems say as high as 435. Redfin say about 422, between 422 429. Prices are, I would say, flat. It's not crashing, it's stabilizing. And then some systems track around the broader area from Atlanta and Sandy Springs say the average price is about 380,000, down about 0.5%. So you see the prices, we're not exploding like the pandemic area where prices were just crazy, crazy. We're stabilizing. We're in more of a stabilizing, which I call, for me, I call it a baseline market. You know how the stock market make a resistance? We're in a resistant and a stabilizing market in Atlanta. Some analysts project 2 to 4% appreciation. We're not in a busting market. So we're, as I said, stabilizing. Whatever perspective, who's right, we're going to see what the truth is. So it is, the market is cooling out. We're in a cool out market, but homes are still selling. So of course, that's the opportunity for you as a buyer and seller. What that means for you, got to price it right. Now let's talk rate. Rates are run between, I would say, really between 6.3 to 6.5%. Depending on your credit, it could be higher. Rates 2025 was about 6.8%. So rates came down a little bit. And even before all the uncertainty of the market, rates was 6%. I can get people for a person 5.9%. You know, a lot of people are you sitting on the whole line saying, waiting on the Fed to cut the rate, Fed to cut the rate. You know, I say to you, marry the house, date the rate, the rate, date the rate. So if you find a house today that you like, it may not be there tomorrow when you sitting around waiting on the rate to change. So don't let that stop your dream if you want to buy a house. But we don't know what will happen with the Fed. It's just uncertain. Buyers or sellers market, it depends. You know, all the market, it really market depends on where you're looking at. I mean, if you're looking in super high school district like maybe Alpharetta or some premium area, Buckhead, or your high leverage, it may still be more of a seller's market. But if you're looking in the sub market, you're gonna have more negotiation. When you go to somebody like me that really know the market, I can show you the sub markets where it would be more affordable and give you more leverage where you can know. Remember, I said there are 70% more sellers on the market than buyers. This is my take. It's leaning more toward a buyer's market than a seller's market. Some stats say it's a balanced market. My perspective, from my experience, I think some markets are leaning more toward a buyer's market. A buyers, you have more leverage. Sellers, you just have to have the condition and be. If you're there, if you're right, you still have leverage. If you come on, I also if you come on the market right. But if you're in the high premium area and stuff like that, it may change. So it just depends on where you're at as far as where the market. But remember, the market right now, the average homes are taking over 55 days or more to sell. So that's what it said balance. They normally say it's a sell is a buyer's market when it's 4 months, but but you do have more leverage today as a buyer. Should you buy now? Should you buy now depends on your situation. Are you planning on staying at home 5 to 7 years? Do you have a stable job, stable income, ample reserve, and you find a house that you really like? Then it makes sense to buy. Don't wait on the interest rate. But if your situation is, oh, I might want to be there for 2 years, oh, your job is a little shaky, or you like to move around, things like that, or if your credit is not, if you don't have strong credit, you need to wait. You need to wait till you get your house in order, till you have, till your credit is decent and you plan on staying there a while. Don't house hunt. This is not the time to just jump in the house and say, I want to move like that. Not this time. So just think of that home as when you buy a home, because I want to own a home. If that isn't, but if your situation is not clear, you want to move quickly, you think you're going to get in that house and get it for 2 or 3 years, and you don't have good credit, and you don't have a stable job, and you don't have ample reserve, I said put off buying until these factors become a thing. Then you need to wait. Here's the bottom line. The market is stabilizing in Atlanta. We don't have the frenzy of the past. The market is healthy. Atlanta market is healthy. And prices right now, they're stabilizing. It's more of a balanced market right today. So for you, if you plan right, you can still win in this market. So just be prepared. If you're thinking about moving in the next 6 to 12 months and just like to have a conversation, reach out to me so I can share my 40 years of market experience on you with some good neighborhoods. And if you're selling, you're just curious about what your value, click the link below and put the information. I'd be glad to give you a compliment evaluation on your home. But again, I say it's the one that is prepared that wins in the market. And do me a favor, hit the notification and the subscribe so you can keep up on all the latest market update on what's going on in the Metro Atlanta market.